Dun 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 dun. Bounce, 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 bounce. That's what that does sound like. Hey, so before we get into this, welcome back to another episode of Art of the Jam. It has been a while for us, not for you. Maybe a week off, but
It's been an eternity.
it's been 1 week since you looked at me. But no, we started rolling here in the midst of Space Camp's trying to figure out an old 50 Cent song on the ukulele, and we can't figure out what it is. So
I like it.
put it up to the mic.
No, I can't even play the fucking thing.
Okay.
Fuck, what is that fucking 50?
Okay, so if anybody has any inkling as to what that might be, if they can decipher that, let us know in the comments. But it is a new episode.
I'm hyped to be his first album. That one that just blew up.
Yeah, when he was still 25 cents. That was a dumb joke, but I enjoyed it. But anyways, guys, welcome back to a new episode of Art of the Jam. We just got off of... What did we just get off of? Space Camp? The longest tour?
Rooter.
Huh?
I tried
backward tour
trying to say
backwards.
it backwards, but then
Ruot. No, because there's
I put an R in
T-O-U-R. So Ruot.
Ruot?
Ruot. You tour. Ruot. Tour.
The turn is half tabled. That's what made me think of that, and I was like, I gotta say it backwards.
Anyways, we just got off of tour. It's the longest stretch that we've been on. It was a 2 week long excursion, and we ended up with a total of about 10 shows in 13 days technically, because we got back on the 14th day. So kind of a crazy little thing. So but we're gonna
died.
We'll get into that. We almost died. So you know what? If that ain't clickbait, or if that's not gonna hold people's attention, and
why they what?
yeah, dude. But guess what? We're not gonna tell you about it till toward the end of the episode or halfway through the episode.
We're not gonna tell you about it at all.
Yeah,
I was
fuck
like,
you
oh,
guys.
Sucks to suck.
More suck to suck. But yeah. So we almost died, and we're gonna get into the what the dude. Oh, never mind. We're going to get into that after we do a little fun normal stuff, and after my toilet upstairs shuts the up.
Somebody went potty.
Somebody took a giant shit, and it wasn't us. So.
What if it was the dog?
And there's only 2 grown women upstairs, so you know what that means.
Pearly Pearl took a shiny pearl.
Well, no, Pearl is a dog. That was a human
what if it's just all like she's disguised and she actually just shits on the floor for fun, but when we're not looking, she actually uses the toilet.
I mean, I would be equally impressed as I was mad about it.
Yeah, fucking peasants.
I'd be like, listen, you're the best dog ever if you can in the fucking toilet. Don't be such a bird. But, anyways.
I'll hold that thought after the question.
I will initiate the question, you
I didn't want to get into it because it's kind of funny concept.
This intro has gone on way too long.
Yeah.
This has gone on way too long. No, our question for today, and before we get into all that fun stuff, the question for all of you out there today is, what is the most important non-musical item that you would take on the road with you? What? And I want you to think long and hard about that, because I thought long and hard about it too, and I realized what my answer to that question is. But for all of you musicians out there, or performers, more so, what is the most important item that doesn't have anything to do with your craft? So in this regard, what is the most important non-musical item that you would have carried in your bag of gear that would be the most helpful in your excursions, in your travels along the old dusty road? So, with that being said, cue the intro. That one hurt, actually.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I.
Well, let me
a pillow.
Well, was that the most helpful thing? So the question was the most important non-musical item to take on the road with you. The most helpful, most important, what have you?
Fucking stove, dog.
See, I didn't even think of that. What about a personal item? Like
I don't really give a shit.
Like, no, I'm saying like obviously like all of those.
I really
things
didn't
were
bring like that important of a personal item. So I don't really.
Let me restate the question. What's the most important non-musical item that helped you with playing music? Do you know what I mean? And do you want me to give you my example first?
Yeah, that would probably.
Fingernail clippers.
I
I thought about that. I was like, I'm so glad I brought fingernail clippers, because if I don't bring fingernail clippers, I'm all over the place scratching up my board, like my fretboard, and making little scrapes, and it's just not helpful to have that. You know what I'm getting at? You know?
I think, or not. I don't really understand. Like, they didn't really like have anything, I guess.
Not even like
We're thankful that not all my pants had holes right here.
Oh, and your little dick holes.
Oh no, yeah,
not little dick,
sticks.
but
No, my sticks would rub, and it would fucking create holes in it and shit. Sticks to get stuck on it.
Not even like I guess yeah. I mean, I guess you don't really have anything like that, because your fingernails don't matter, because you're just holding sticks. Shoes? I don't know.
Well, I guess I did.
Hair tie?
I did bring 3 pairs of shoes.
Did that help you with playing drums?
Well, if I like to switch them, because they all equally hurt my feet. So I just like.
So you just like rotating tires?
Yeah, essentially.
You're like, so they don't wear my feet down.
Yeah, and also there's this thing: if you don't use your shoes, they break down.
If you don't use your shoes, yeah, that's true. Actually, if you let shoes go a long time without being used, and then you wear them a bunch, it'll destroy them, because the leather usually dries out.
Yeah.
I used to have my dad's pair of believe it or not, I used to wear these suave fucking cowboy boots, because they were like fucking dope. They're like snakeskin, but they were my dad's from the 80s. And he gave them to me, and they hadn't been worn since the 80s, and I wore the fuck out of them for so long, and I tore them up like within a couple weeks because they were so dry. Like, I even used like saddle soap and shit, tried to restore them. I didn't fucking.
But it didn't work.
Didn't work, unfortunately. But so a change of shoes seems like, and I feel like what would like keep, I would say like for you, I'm just spitballing things, but like.
I didn't.
Hair
what I was.
Or
what I should have. It probably would have been headphones, but I didn't bring headphones.
Like for ear protection.
Well, yeah, that too.
I mean, something. It's
just to mute, but it still deals with music, I guess.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it does, yeah, but more so like something non-musical that helps you perform. Yeah, not, you know what I mean, like. Fingernail clippers to me.
My my slip-on Vans, I tend to drum better on those. I guess I'm grateful for those ones because I do mostly drum in those.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I thought that was an interesting question because I was like,
It's a
who?
good question though. It got me. It was a good question though. It got me because I wasn't like, what? I never really thought about having like a non-musical personal. I mean, yeah, I got like a bunch of things at home.
Yeah.
But I didn't like bring it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I just I thought about that. I thought it was cool. So that being said, album of the week. I'll go ahead and get into that. We were in. It was kind of. I forgot what city we were actually in, but we stopped in on a day off, or we just had way too much time on our hands. I don't remember which one before a show, but we stopped in at a city, and we were going to record stores as we do. But the problem this time is we didn't have any money to buy anything.
Well, it's kind of like torture going to like record stores and then you find records that you've been wanting. And you're like, oh yeah, good. I'm glad you got it, but I don't got the money for this.
Is it free? No, I realized that it's always
there's a lot of Clutch albums that I wanted. I was like, I want them all.
You always find nothing when you have the money, and when you don't have the money, you find everything you've ever wanted.
Or when you do have the money and there's too many options, and then your head explodes because you can't fucking decide which one you want.
You buy one and then you leave, and then all you can think about.
That other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Slit my wrist.
Cut my wrists and black my eyes. Hawthorne Heights. Somebody I seen is playing with Hawthorne Heights. And honestly, I seen a picture of Hawthorne Heights and they looked plastic. I think they were like old and had a bunch of makeup on now. I don't know. That's beside the point. Hawthorne Heights was one of my middle school bands. Yeah, Ohio's for Lovers. Anyway, album of the week. We were in some city, I don't remember, and we stopped at this place called Dead Wax Records, which I thought that was kind of interesting that the dude was just giving guitar lessons out of the back of a record store. I thought that was kind of cool. And I felt very weird because when I walked in there, I just immediately was like, "What's up, guys?" And they were like in the middle of a lesson, but no, they had a bunch of cool stuff. I didn't really care for how they had it organized. I'm gonna be a record store Yelp reviewer right now. It was just all in one, just one mess of alphabet. It was alphabetized, but it was everything was all together in one thing.
I honestly don't like it that certain record stores only carry like a certain era, and they just don't. Yeah, I wish they just carry everything, a little bit of everything, not just one era.
You got to think about this: is most record stores are run by record fanatics or music lovers, and most people are very. Most people only like what they're into.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And they'll carry very little of what they think other people are interested in.
He's not gonna lie, because that's how I was, and like growing up in like high school and shit. I like listened to a certain amount of bands, and then I was like against like the metalcore because I thought emo was stupid. And then I grew up, and I was like, finally, I'll sit down and listen to this. And I listened to it. And I was like, dude, I'm the idiot.
Yeah. But a lot of people are very like, a lot of record store guys are snobby, and I'm not saying all of them are, but I have met a lot of record store owners that are snobby, pretentious when it comes to what they're into and their interests. And that's why I really liked that the record store that we went to, that we were filming. It had the record loft. I liked the.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I liked the J&L Records.
Yeah.
Same town, but I liked them because they had literally, mostly DVDs and CDs and tapes.
Right next to that pole.
Yeah, I remember that. I parked next to a pole and I couldn't get out of my door, so I had to go out his
Climb
side.
over.
It's all right. It's all right. We all make mistakes. We're all human beings here. But that's why I liked that one, because it had everything. Like, for the most part, they seemed like they catered to everybody and not just themselves. And I'm not knocking Dead Wax records at all.
CDs than they were vinyls, though.
Yeah, but they still had quite the selection. They had a lot more than I thought.
They were organized.
Yeah, I liked how they had them organized. Honestly, the best organization of a record store that I've ever seen is that one in Lincoln, where literally every artist had its own tab. I don't know if you remember that. And I was literally
that one older lady.
I think it was like I can't remember where exactly.
No, because that's the one you bought that Nigerian funk album at.
No, that one's in Lawrence.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of.
That's probably one of my favorite record stores I've been to, though. The one in Lincoln, Nebraska that we went to, it had literally like a tab. You know how they have like the tabs, and normally
what was the
it's
name of the place?
Dude, I don't know.
Piece of shit.
I'll have to look it up, but I'll put it in the description of the episode. I'll find it, but
fucking fly. My weed.
It was the coolest fucking. He's trying to catch a buzz. He's trying to catch a buzz. Get it? He's trying to catch a fucking buzz, bro. A fucking buzz, dude.
That's the best one.
I know. Put that in your cauldron and stir it. We're all having fun here.
Oh fuck, that was good.
I tend to be all right sometimes.
Oh my god, I think I need to get one of those. You know those tiny little like drum set, like kids drum sets, like that, maybe like this big. I should get one. Maybe like you say something funny. I just reach over.
Like a desk drum set.
Yeah, that'd be fucking hilarious. Cool. I might have to look out for one of those.
Yeah. That actually would be kind of fun. Instead of a soundboard, just have like a little kit. That'd be dope. Actually. But no, we were at Dead Wax Records in such and such of some state that we were in, and we couldn't afford anything. But on the way out, we seen a box out on the front step, and it said free records. Actually, it just said free, and then somebody wrote jazz, which I thought was funny because free jazz is a genre of jazz that is just, I've mentioned before, is just a cacophony of.
Too.
Yeah, it was literal. It was quite literal, as in free jazz records, because most of it is jazz, but it's also making a pun in itself about the genre of jazz, of free jazz, which is a very avant-garde and whatnot, and I don't know, look up free jazz. You'll hate it. But anyway, we got... What did you get over there?
Well, the only reason why, honestly, I picked this one up was because it had green onions on it. And green onions is fucking dope. But also, it's instrumentals. Like, just the music.
It's even got Rinky Dink. I think... Booker T and the MGs did Rinky Dink as well.
In Mexico, is that one? The one I'm thinking of?
Mexico.
Mountain Mexico.
In Mexico. I don't...
It's probably one of my favorite songs. Not gonna lie.
In Mexico, that one?
Yeah.
Down in the Mexicali.
Yes. No, dude.
No, that's the Coasters. I don't think... That's down in Mexico, not Mexico. But I'm sure that's good. But I'll do mine, and then you can do your other one, because I only nabbed one. But I grabbed this.
What was that Rinky Dink one? What was that?
I can't remember how the tune
that
goes.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's you'd know it if you heard it. But so yeah, he grabbed that. Take 5 is why I wanted that one, but you nabbed it first, and I'm obviously not gonna be a thief and steal it from you, but because Take 5 is like one of the best jazz songs ever made, in my opinion. But he got that. I got $64,000 Jazz, which It has. I honestly, I only grabbed it because it did have a Dave Brubeck song on it, which Dave Brubeck is who does Take Five, Paul Desmond,
Oh,
and
shit.
Dave Brubeck. And but Dave Brubeck is one of my favorite jazz artists, and so is they had a Duke Ellington song on here, and they had Louis Armstrong, which Louis Armstrong, I don't give a shit what anybody fucking says. Louis Armstrong is a gift from God.
Dude, we need to hook this fucking record player up.
This one?
Yeah.
You just gotta plug it in, but
It'd be kind of cool, just like have a maybe like a 5 minutes like a song segment from like the album.
Well, we would only be able to do like snippets of songs because it's copyright infringement.
Oh, that is true.
You can't play. You can play songs on YouTube, but it's like literally like maybe 10 or 15 seconds of a song. Yeah, or you'll get flagged and taken down. So.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. That's or I would have done. I would do that. I would definitely do that, but. Because that would be dope. But and then what was your other one here? You got himself a Wildest Drums.
Les Brown Jr. I'm not really sure who that is, but
I'm kind of like he's kind of holding himself up, with my expectations here. Because Wildest Drums yet, it's like it better be good. It better be wild.
you know, I'm not gonna lie, doing the sticks on the kick, that's such an old school thing, and I'm glad I still do that.
Everybody does that, Space Camp.
No, I feel like it's just an old school thing.
I see most drummers do that, and if they don't, they have a stick bag hanging on the hi-hat.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people do that.
Well,
Chad used to do that.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's old school, man. It's the best way. It's best spot, really.
It's the easiest place.
Yeah.
To grab. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's what we nabbed. We nabbed these for free, and I actually did listen to mine on Sunday, and
did you?
There's no skips in it, which is kind of unbelievable when it comes to being in a box of free records outside.
Kind of jealous you got a sleeve for it.
Yeah, I bought a bag of like 200 of them, so I have polythene slips for them all. I don't know, poly sleeves. That's what it is. Anyways, yeah, but honestly, if I would have known, I would have taken that whole fucking box.
Right.
You know, because like there was a lot of good there's a lot of good jazz on this record, and there was like multiples of these, and I was just like, man.
What if we just took that whole box? Hilarious.
I wouldn't have just taken it. I would have been like, hey, dude, can I take all of this off your hands? You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be a total like. I feel like that's the one kid that goes around during Halloween and it says, please take one. And he stuffs his bag full of candy.
Yeah.
It's like, leave some for the other kids. You know what I mean? So there's some tasty jazz treats in there for everybody, I feel like. And I'm not going to just take them.
You need to get more familiar with names and stuff.
Oh, you only get that way with listening to it.
Well, yeah.
But it also doesn't matter. It's music. If you understand the music and you recognize the music, it doesn't matter if you know their name. You only need to know their name if you're trying to tell other people about it, really. But no, I get you definitely. I'm honestly, I at some point, maybe off camera, we'll listen to those, because I'm honestly interested in these Wildest Drums, because I love listening and watching videos of those jazz drummers, like that one. You know that one? I think she's like of Indian descent. I can't remember. She's her name's like Sarah or something, or Sarah Drums or something is like her tag online. But she's like this craziest, one of the craziest drummers I've seen, and I love watching her because she's just like the whole time and just like love that shit. But I mean that'll conclude album of the week, and we're gonna do a hard segue here to Space Camp. Your favorite.
I got one.
You do have one. Well, guess what? I have three.
So I'm really proud of this one because it's a funny story too.
Honestly, all but one of these we came up with together, but I was like, we have to explore these because we didn't really explore them while we were on the road. So, but okay, well, let's stop. All right, we're not gonna just blurt it out. All right, we don't do that here. We do a hard reveal. So, this is the segment of the show called Phantom Sam and the Fiction. This is Phantom Sam and the Fictions. This is the segment of the show where over the course of the week, and, well, in this case, in the course of the past 2 weeks while we were on tour, we come up with fictitious band names, and we go through and we discuss them as such as what type of genre we think they would play, who would open for them, who they would open for, maybe what their freshman album would be called, or anything like that. We just bullshit about these fictitious bands, and it is fun. And like I say every time, if you want any of these band names, they can be yours for 3 small payments of $19.95. And you can also save 15% or more on your car insurance by switching to. No, we're not sponsored by them, so I can't say their name. But anyways, that'd be kind of dope, though. That'd actually be the lamest sponsor ever. But anyway, Phantom Sam and the Fictions. I'll go ahead and I'll do my first one, and then how about I'll do 2, and then you do your 1, and then I'll do my last one.
Okay.
Since
fair.
we both know what these first 2 are. So, fictitious band name number 1, Mud Bubble. What genre of music do you think Mud Bubble would be?
I was thinking like.
I'm thinking like
kind of like
you're about to say bluegrass. Just kidding.
Like hillbilly.
Yeah, I think it's the mud. I think it has something about off-road tires and
swamp
rock.
Yeah,
swamp
I
grass.
think of overalls and a straw hat with wheat hanging out in the mouth.
Swamp grass.
Yeah,
like bluegrass from the swamp. I think, or but I feel like with like a little bit of a rock edge. You know what I mean? I feel like they would have like. They would at least
brothers our thou, or like that fucking.
We're oh brother, where art thou?
Yes.
That's like gospel almost. Not gospel, but.
Well, that's kind of what I think.
Okay. So oh brother, where art thou? But with like an electric guitar in there somewhere, like a distorted electric guitar.
Yeah,
I
feel like they would be bluesy too.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. Swamp bluesgrass, electric bluesgrass. There, I think we nailed it. Swamp electric bluesgrass. Anyways, so fictitious band name number. Oh, actually, who do you think they would? No, they would open for no. Not everything can be Guar Space Camp.
Just the reactions are the best. That one.
I've had it. I'm denouncing Guar. I'm gonna from now on. No. From now on, I'm gonna deny the existence of Guar. From this moment, Guar does not exist to me.
Real, because how fast that escalated.
I'm done with you.
God damn it!
I'm done with you. I didn't give you the side eye. I gave you the up eye. I'm done. Guar is now non-existent to me. So here, this is me. I forgot my ray gun and my fucking hat. God damn it. Anyway, I was gonna use my ray gun to erase my mind, but I'll do it later.
I should remember get one of those things in Men in Black. What is this called?
Deneuralizer.
Yeah.
No, it actually does have a deneuralizer.
How you know what that is.
I'm a big fan of the Men in Black.
Okay.
But it does. My ray gun, believe it or not, does have a deneuralizer mode on it that I could, but I got to do it later because it's somewhere else. But I'm going to erase Guar from my mind, so in the next episode, if you mention anything about Guar, sorry, but I won't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? So.
If Johnny, what about like a.
What?
Like not Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson.
What about him?
Did they open up for Willie Nelson?
and the dudes from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. They're performing. They're doing a Oh Brother Where Art Thou revisited tour where the actors do the music.
George Clooney.
Yeah, they play the soundtrack.
Terrible Batman.
And maybe some John Fogerty, CCR, maybe something like
dude,
that.
I love his voice so much.
Yeah, I hoid it through the. No, that was more like that. Was more. That wasn't even.
He's more like.
I was about to say that was more like Dr. John, but that didn't sound like Dr. John at all. That was more like fucking. I don't even fucking know. Moving on. Fictitious band name number 2. Grime Line.
Dude, I just sludgy. Just very like sludgy doom.
Yeah. But something gives me electronic vibes for some reason.
I was like, can you get that too?
But like, so I think it's like electronic doom rock. I don't know, because I don't know if it'd be quite. That's an eclectic little mix of things. I feel like Grime Line. I feel like okay, so I'm thinking drum line for some reason. So it's gonna have like a marching band aspect. Oh, bear with me here. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon will be in the drum line, but it'll have a drum percussive orchestra. And then there will be electronic sludge, and then like a doom metal, like yeah, like you like give a little pinch of salt and it's just like that. Would you agree?
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah, I don't agree with it. I just made it. I just no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so who do you think they would open up for? Honestly, I feel like Mudbubble and Grime Line would hang out. I don't know if they would like play together though.
Dude, what is
Grime Line?
Sleep.
Okay.
Or
Nailed
like,
it.
Our Electric Wizard. You ever heard of them?
Sounds really familiar.
They kind of that real like no.
Just drony psychedelic doom rock.
They only have one good album, but yeah.
I told you about that at one time, and I'm sorry, Alex Contreras, if you're watching this, but at one time, me and him were trading songs. Like, hey man, you should listen to this, and he was like, you should listen to this. I gave him a normal length song. It was like maybe 4 minutes long, and then he's like, listen to this song, and he gave me a sleep song, and it was like, I'm not even kidding you, it was 59 minutes long. And I'm like, what? Who does that? Just give me a normal length. Like, what you're asking me to like set aside my plans for the day to listen to this song. Not take a moment to check out something new and experience. You know what I mean? It's like I'm giving you a moment to step aside from your day and listen to a song, and you're literally making my day.
Yeah, you got. Oh, I love that. It's so awesome.
It was nonetheless the 2 minutes of it that I did listen to was drony, but kind of interesting. I'm not knocking Sleep at all. I just thought it was funny that he did that. But so Grime Line will open for Sleep. Interesting. So fictitious band name number 3, Space Camp.
Reverse Dead.
Reverse Dead.
So me and Angie were just fucking stoned one night. She said something about being not born, and I was like, I blurted out, so you're trying to be like reverse dead, and she just fucking lost it because the being reverse,
Yeah.
reverse dead, you're unborn.
Reverse Dead, they would be. I feel like they would have. Obviously some sort of like goth rock vibe to them, but they would be a little more punky, I feel like, but not too punky, not like, I feel like they would be like Misfits punky, like almost like Danzig or something, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it'd be like that type of like vibe, but they would open for Ghost, which we talked about how Ghost sucks, but I feel like they would still kind of jive with them a little bit.
I'm mad about that, dude.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, they'll open up for Ghost, and the Misfits. Why not? I feel like, or Pentagram or something weird like that. I don't know.
Dude, have you seen that guy?
Yeah, he's great. He actually is responsible for writing the first metal song ever created, if you didn't know that.
Oh, okay. That's dope.
It's called Be Forewarned by Macabre. Not before Pentagram was Pentagram, it was a band called Macabre, and they created the song, or he wrote the song Be Forewarned, and it's one of my favorite songs to ever exist. It's so good, but it is debatably one of the first metal songs that was ever made.
What year?
It was definitely in the 60s. I can't recall.
Well, then
that's
definitely fighting with Sabbath.
It was about the same time. That's why I say debatably. It's because
That's definitely. I'll look into that because around that time, around the early 70s, late 60s is when Sabbath came out.
Yeah, this was honestly probably, I want to say, very close. That's why I say debatable. It's because I'm pretty sure it was 69 or 70. 69 or 70. So it is a very close call, but it doesn't.
I think their self-titled came out probably 69 or 70.
Yeah. I'll have to
fucking album.
But you also you got to find the right version, because Macabre created Be Forewarned in the late 60s, maybe 1970, like I said, but then Pentagram redid it later, and so there's a version of it that's older that definitely post dates Sabbath, definitely. So you have to find the original one to actually get a good fight or debate on what was who came first. But Reverse Dead, there you have it. Fictitious band name number 4, Trauma Combo.
I like that.
Yeah, what do you think they do? Something tells me emo. I don't know why. I came up with this one last night or the night before.
I was thinking dubstep. I don't know why.
Trauma Combo. I feel like it's like would you say electronic? What'd you say? Dubstep?
Like dubstep.
I feel like it would be the music in the background of a fighting video game. Like almost like Tekken.
Or was it 88-bit or whatever?
What do you mean?
It's just it's what it's called.
Oh, 8-bit music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that was a great impression of that.
There was a god-awful Space Camp. Anyways, so Trauma Combo would be 8-bit fighting video game music for some reason. I think it's only because
Street Fighter.
Yeah, I think it's only because no, but it would have a little tinge of emo to it for some reason. I feel like it would have only because of trauma. Huh?
It's got the side part.
Yeah. Imagine
The
fighting
sound
video
is-
game music with hair over one eye. That's what it is. Video game fighting music with hair over one eye. Trauma Combo. And they would open up for none other than Dragon Force. I feel like, because Dragon Force is pretty much fighting video game music in my opinion.
It really is.
But
That guitar player is crazy.
he is. He's very interesting to watch, and he does some wild shit, to be honest. But that being said, that concludes Phantom Sam and the Fictions, and this is reached halfway through the episode, I believe. It doesn't matter what point of the episode this is, but this is the part where we get to the middle of the old sandwich. This is where you get to the jam.
Yeah, look like a jellyfish.
This is, if anybody didn't know, this is a sacred cauldron of jam, of delicious, glowing, magic jam. And,
actually, it makes sense because SpongeBob, the jellyfish, made jelly. So
that's true. And I sacrificed this goat for jam. And That's what we do here. We have to satisfy our Moloch the Owl God and the Bohemians of. Never mind. I've said too much, and we are on the chopping block now because they're watching and they're listening. I'm sorry, FBI. I'm sorry, George Bush. I'm sorry, everybody. Anyways, forget what you just heard. Bill Clinton. No, not Bill Clinton. Hillary Clinton. She's the lizard. She's the one that's sucking the life out of Bill Clinton. He's just food. He's just fodder for this.
He just wanted a good old blowjob in the Oval Office.
And I just wanted to play the saxophone.
Then why was that so good?
Because I'm fucking good. Hey, everybody. With that being said, cue the jam. Whoa! Well, we don't need to scream. I was just saying, well, what have you. We can leave that open. Okay. It's nice and warm out there, I think.
We got the cool couches in the shop.
We don't. We definitely don't. But I would also think that would be a cool shot to have them couch. We should just bring the couches in here, dude. Fuck it. Make those the couches. That'd be dope. Too bad they're in shells and we can't.
Or the chair, just the chair. The chair is really cool.
Yeah, that's a nice sitting chair. Anyways, everybody, welcome to the jam portion of the show. You have made it to the sweet, delectable center of the jam sandwich, where I'm just ringing. That's a little better. Deal with a little bit of ring right now, all right? You know, we're gonna just do that, all right?
You know, damn.
Now what? You need to stop saying never mind, because then we can explore these thoughts.
Well, that's not the thought, because we kind of missed it already. Or like our April Fools.
Yeah. Let's not say it because we're going to use that idea later.
Okay, I still want to use that because that's fucking genius.
No, I didn't realize that the schedule I couldn't fit it in there. I almost was like, hey dude, come over here shirtless. And we'll just do a little snippet and then we'll do the rest. And just have that pop up. But it is what it is. We missed our April Fool's chance. It is what it is. So
now we use it for something else stupid.
We're gonna use it. We're gonna just do it in all seriousness. We'll actually make a. I don't want to give it away, but we'll make one. And we're gonna be April Fool's.
Yeah. Honestly, that's even more funny.
To just actually do it.
Yeah.
Well, enough of the inside jokes. We don't want to alienate our audience here. We'll get on with the jam here. Do you have your phone for a timer? Why don't you whip that up while I get these dice unrolled here?
You 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, let's do 20 minutes. And do a timer, not a stopwatch.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Okay, so as you all know, in the jam portion of the show, we're going to roll our magic dice here. Space Camp is going to have the ones that correspond to me more so he's going to have key and quality. And oops, the universe, I think, has spoken with that one. So I dropped one, and then luckily it was one that I was supposed to roll, so I'm just going to leave it there. Space Camp will have key and quality, and I will have time signature and accent, but the universe has just snatched it from my hand and dropped it straight on the ground, and that's what we're going to go with. So I will reveal it after our roll here. Over, under, over. All right.
That's it.
2, 3, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Roll!
Roll the dice of fury. Oh, that's sauce.
Okay, so you have. This is kind of fucked. So, that's it. I'm going back to Jersey.
What did you have? What did you have that first time?
It doesn't matter. The universe.
Well,
is
I want to know if it landed on the same thing.
No, last time was C7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you got?
Sus and whatever that is. But I don't know. It'd be funny if, like, which one you rolled, dropped, and it landed on the same thing again. Isn't that funny? That would be.
That would mean that the universe is pretty adamant.
Yeah, it'd be like, there ain't no way you're getting out of this one.
Okay, so we're gonna do. Oh shit! You just spit up, fucking child.
And the camera got it.
You just spit up like a little baby boy. Little baby boy space game.
Yeah, about what they're on the wrong pipe.
Oh. I was going to come up with something clever for that, but I did not. But anyways, so our roll for today is G sharp, A flat. Quality is... Oh, shit. I'm going to start that over, all right? I've made too many mistakes. I just chugged my first cup of coffee. I know I always make that excuse on this show that I haven't had enough coffee, but it's always pretty much true. So, today's roll. The key of G sharp and or A flat. Quality of suspended. We have a time signature of 5/4 with an accent on the 5.
Oh.
Yikes. It's fun for all of us, I think. So, I will repeat. It is what it is. We gotta try it. We gotta fuck around, funk around, find out. But today's roll, I will repeat, is the key of G sharp and or A flat. The quality is suspended. The time signature is 5/4 with an accent on the 5. Without further ado.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think hitting the accent will be terribly too hard.
Sharp and flat.
You ready? Timer's going.
trying so hard to get that 5/4 in there. Woo! That was really fucking fun, though. I enjoyed that.
that was like, I don't even know. It was just very like tangy.
Tangy?
It had like a tangy.
Had some vitamin C to it?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. There was the jam. It was very described by by Space Camp here. It was a very tangy jam, not twangy. Tangy, as in the orangutan. Tang, vitamin C. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's get back to the show. Fuck! Welcome back from the jam, everybody. I just clipped everything. Wow, I just shouted too loud. I hope that was a good jam. I honestly, I do genuinely, I wish that puppy would shut the fuck up.
I knew eventually you'd say something about it.
I'm just kidding. She's a sweet dog. She's just unruly.
She's so sweet, she pees.
Yeah, and that's why honestly I didn't punish her, because she has not peed in the house in 2 days, which is a huge milestone. But she was excited.
Yeah, like you can't. To me, yeah, you can't really get mad for that, you know.
Yeah.
She's excited, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're on the other side of the bread here from the jam sandwich here, and we're here to recap our tour. We've been on tour for the past 2 weeks. We hit the road. Our first show is March 1st, and we got home on the 15th, 14th or 15th. We got home on the 15th, so we were there for 2 weeks, and I've been trying to scribble down everybody that I remembered. We met so many people. I've met more people in my life in the past 2 weeks than I have ever, I feel like. That's not entirely true, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Very many names, and as we recap this tour and the events and the people we met, please, if you're watching this and I forget your name, you will be mentioned either way, and I apologize if I forget anything or or anything. So, where do we begin?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, we were just 45 minutes from home. We played Moon City Pub.
3 hours. We didn't fucking stop.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Last song I had to piss, and you were doing your drum solo at the beginning.
I had to pee so bad, but I was like, man, what's 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Well, it was all the fucking the amount of coffee I drank, and then
we drove 8 hours up north to
Des Moines.
Yeah, Des Moines.
But I want to mention everybody here, and this is another thing is I don't remember the bartender's name of Moon City Pub. But she was a very sweet woman. I don't remember if she was the owner or just the bartender or not, but she was very gracious. She brought us coffee while we were on stage, which led to me having to piss, which, thanks for the piss, lady. I don't know. But, I do remember Eric on sound, so I want to give a big shout out to Eric on sound. He seemed to enjoy it, and, also, the two gentlemen at the end that complimented us and bought some shirts from us. They were very sweet dudes. Very intoxicated, but still fun. One of them was a tattoo artist, and if you know where Moon City Pub is in Springfield, it's like 2 doors down from there.
Say it.
What?
I thought you were gonna...
3 doors down?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm gone. But if you ever want a tattoo, go to him. He's 2 doors down from Moon City Pub. I forgot the name of the place that he's at, but he seemed like pretty gung ho and good at what he does. So from there, yep, you're right. We drove like 8 hours to Des Moines, and then turns out
you should definitely.
What?
I want to say that there was this one spot over at the Capitol building where we walked up them stairs and stuff.
Yeah, we ended up being off in Des Moines, so we got to just walk around Des Moines. But continue.
You should definitely put that picture, like when we turned
of the building
around, when we turned around. and it was like, holy shit, yeah, you definitely got to show them that fucking picture because that was fucking dope as shit. I was like, whoa.
I have it on video, but I mean, I can post it'll be a reel.
I have a picture.
Yeah, I think I did take a picture of it as well, and I will put it up. Quit giving me so much editing to do, dude. I don't want to put a picture up, but I'm going to. So.
Oh, well, they gotta see that because that was beautiful.
It was very beautiful. It honestly, and I know this is kind of a cheesy concept, but I learned a very valuable lesson in that moment because we were so fixated on what was in front of us, which was this giant, immaculate, like Taj Mahal-esque Capitol building in Des Moines, and then you're at the very tip top of like I felt like fucking what's his name, Adrian Rocky, climbing all these stairs. Rocky Balboa, Adrian. But we get to the top of these stairs in pursuit of this immaculate building, but the true beauty of it was right behind you the whole time. And you turn around and you look, and you just see the skyline of Des Moines and the sunset coming down. And then what was weird was we heard those creepy like trumpet noises. Do you remember that? I have it on video, dude. And I was like, dude, are we not only are we like seeing this like beautiful scenery, but it's like now there's like God trumpets, like the heavenly trumpets of fucking heaven, the apocalypse trumpets.
Yeah,
they're playing. It's
shit,
like,
dude.
Uh-oh. But it was really a really beautiful thing, and I will post a picture of it too. So and if not, I do have a reel of it, and I'm gonna clip it into a reel as well. So it'll be pretty cool. And it'll even come included with the apocalypse trumpets because I got that on camera too, and it's very creepy.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. You know that the siren. The siren head, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But around Des Moines, that's where we went to the record stores. I think it was around that time. I can't remember, but then we made our way to the White Squirrel in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they sold like weed drinks. Remember that weed drink? It was like honey lemonade or some shit.
Yeah, it didn't do shit, but it tasted good. Though.
I bet if I would have drank one, I would have been lost my fucking mind probably. No, I thought that was kind of interesting. The White Squirrel, it was a dope place, and that's wild because, I mean, if you follow the show and you know anything about me, you know that I listen to zero music that has anything to do with the English language. I love world music, and especially like Afrobeat and stuff like that, and just shit like that. And it was just kind of wild that we walk into this building, and I feel so bad about this because I don't remember the guy's name because he wasn't quite literally an African man with an African name that I could not pronounce.
Right.
But I will post. I have videos of him, and I'll figure out his name. I'll put his name in the comments below. But it was just kind of crazy, and exactly what I needed to hear was when I walked in, and it was him and this other man, and he was playing the oud, which I don't know if you know what an oud is, but it was like the guitar of India, pretty much, and they were playing this like very. It was just insane. He had this like big instrument. It was like kind of like a xylophone, but made of wood and things. And it was pretty wicked. I mean, a xylophone, I'm pretty sure. No, a marimba is the wooden one. I think a xylophone is made. I don't know. I'm not sure about like percussive things, but so correct me if I'm wrong. But it was this like very African instrument, and it was wonderful to listen to him and this bongo and conga player just fuck around. That fucking drummer was insane. He was doing like these like little flicks.
Yeah.
And then he was like licking his finger and doing that like drone noise on the head of the bongo. And I was like, dude, this dude played those like crazier things. And like I've heard, what am I trying to say here? I feel like he played more impressive things on those than I've heard on like some like rock drummers. Like it was like more interesting. I don't know how to explain it. Like he just did some creative things, and I really enjoyed that. But we played with a band called War Party after him.
Those guys were nice.
And War Party was fucking dope. They did all their makeup as like Native American war paint, and the lead singer had like the native like beaded feather chest piece and everything. It was really cool, and they had a lot of good, their music was pretty good, and we had a good time with them. And they stuck around and watched us play, and we just had a fucking dope time at the old White Squirrel Bar in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Funny name.
What?
White Squirrel.
It's funny because my dog is Pearl Squirrel, and she's a little white squirrel to me. But I thought that was interesting. But no, well, we played there, and shout out to Bryce on sound, and then Elijah and Mario.
How the fuck do you remember all these goddamn names, dude?
I'm trying. I lost it as we went. I only have the next this venue and the next one remembered. So we're gonna have an interesting piece recap after these two. But Bryce on sound, Elijah and Mario, the two dudes that I met. They were front and center, and we were jiving and talking and shit. So shout out to you guys. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to none other than the girl that I made leave. I don't know if you remember that.
Dude, I forgot about that.
There was a girl, and she was like, "Do you know any Chappelle Rowan?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
Like
dude.
Pink Pony Club or something. And I was
Yeah.
like, she was like, "Do you know this?" And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And she was like, "Can you play this song?" And I was not being an asshole. I was just quite frankly saying over the mic that we are an original band playing original music, and she wasn't. I don't think she took kindly to that, but she was also definitely intoxicated a little bit, and I think she left after that. And so I want to say sorry, not sorry. I do apologize for upsetting you, but I do not apologize for what I said, because we are an original band playing original music. But that was a dope show. That was a fun time, and I'm glad everybody enjoyed it, and I'm glad we enjoyed it. Moving on. After the White Squirrel, where did we go? White Squirrel was, after that was Dayton.
Dude, Dayton was fun.
Dayton at the Hidden Gem Music Club with
It was fucking hidden.
Huh?
It was hidden.
It was very hidden, and it was also a gem of a music club. Yeah. Why'd you give me that fucking look?
Because I thought you were, it was like actually thought of a gym. It was actual gym.
Like weights lifting?
Yeah, I knew. So that was like, I had to sign.
Oh, gym like a rock.
You had to like sign up. Like, what?
No, but Hidden Gem Music Club in Dayton, Ohio. We big shout out to Tony on the sound, and I believe he was the owner, and then Molly was the bartender, and she seemed to have a good time. I don't know where you went, but we didn't see you before we left, so I hope you had a swell rest of your night. And then, of course, the band that we played with was Fun While It Lasted. Not It Was Fun While It Lasted. The name of the band was Fun While It Lasted. But also, the show was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave you to decipher what the fuck I just said. But cool thing about it is that was their first official show, and I do always enjoy sharing that experience.
Actually, I think we experienced a few of those.
Yeah, we did. Well, that was the only one that it was literally their first show. Like, we played with a couple of bands where it was like their third or fifth show, and that was but Fun While It Lasted, they did very well for their first show, and the drummer, I'm gonna say, is fucking wild, man. I enjoyed he was just a 17, 18-year-old kid, and he was fucking great. I can only imagine where he's gonna go with his instrument, just being so young. He was very, very good. for his age.
And that was like he said it was like 5-6 years or some shit.
Yeah.
Just the way he was. 5-6 years, man. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the group because the bass player was dope as well. And we actually ran into the bass player's wife and the lead singer at Eric's guitar shop in Vandalia, which is outside of Dayton, I think. And she bought the bass player a new bass, and it was like just all lime green. I thought that was dope. And shout out to Eric's Guitars in Vandalia. He gave me a free patch cable to fix my rig because my one of my amps blew up on me on that show, so I had to switch amps. But that's beside the point. We had a good time. Hidden Gym was dope, and we hope to make it back there sometime soon. But Hidden Gym. What did we go after Dayton? We went to Detroit. Dayton,
I think
Detroit.
Chicago was before.
Oh yeah, we went to Chicago. That would have. Wait, did we go to Chicago before Dayton? Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. We went. Anyways, we went to Chicago. And we played. Yeah, we went to Chicago and we played at One City Tap, and
Really, that was weird.
it was a very weird little venue. I had no idea what we were in store for, but the owner was very nice to us and very accommodating for the most part. And I don't know why I said for the most part. He was very accommodating, very nice. So scratch
it was just
that.
in the corner of like
Yeah.
intersection, right?
Yeah, it was we were quite literally playing in the corner of a room too.
Yeah, dude.
But that was pretty cool, and we played with. But the venue itself was on like a weird, because like where we're from, we don't have those weird like corner intersections. There's like a city thing where it's like a X intersection, and then it's like on a corner, so it's like super hard to find like parking to. It's almost like it's something you have to walk to, and so we played there. And then, we played with Phil Yates. Shout out to Phil Yates in the affiliates. No, he played with. I think his buddy's name is Mike. So Phil Yates and Mike, they were very good. I tried to do it. Big shout out to me on sound. No, we all kind of contributed to doing sound for each other, but I tried my best. I'm not a sound guy, but. You guys sounded pretty dope, and I hope you had a swell.
And definitely, if you have never been to Chicago, just watch Shameless.
It's the same. I honestly, I mean, we were only there for a night, but I feel like Shameless did a okay job of, kind of representing.
When we were going over the highways, I was just seeing all those houses that would look like they were in Shameless. And it was like literally. Yeah. I was like, dude, this is awesome because I fucking love that show. It was just kind of cool being in it. It was kind of a cool moment.
Yeah, it seemed that way to us. So
like,
if you're,
where's Frank at?
Yeah, he's floating in through the sky because he's fucking dead. But I think that happens in the last episode. No, but that's just what it seemed like to us. So we apologize if all you Chicagoans think that they were misrepresented by Shameless, but we kind of identified the two together.
Did you know the Shameless that we all know is actually just a remake?
Everything is. It's all British shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also a British That 70s show.
Did not know that. It's cool.
That one actually came after the American version, I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
But it was just kind of cool.
So was The Office. The
Finding
Office
that because it's
show.
on Tubi.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody uses fucking Tubi, but Tubi fucking rocks your dick off, bro.
Tubi.
Even though it's got ads, like commercials and shit, still got a lot of fucking dope movies. And it's free.
To be or not to be?
Yeah.
That is the question. Anyways, where the fuck... Oh, where the fuck did we go after Chicago?
I think we were
that was
Akron.
Are you sure? No, because we went to Detroit and then Akron. Yeah. Because we played. Okay, so we're not quite sure on the timeline of events here. We're trying to recreate all of these events live here. So I believe we went to Detroit after Chicago. I think. So, anyways, as long as we get all of the venues, I don't think the timeline quite matters. So
yeah, if you remember all the venues, I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, so we were in Chicago. I just want to make sure I have all of these. Chicago, and that was at One Tap City, or One City Tap. I don't know why I keep fucking that up. With Phil Yates.
City, dude.
Phil Yates and Mike. And then we went to Detroit, which was... Oh, yeah, we forgot the funniest part of Chicago, though, when we got stuck in Chicago traffic and you were literally...
Oh, yeah, about to piss myself. I
about
was
to
like, dude,
burst.
I'll buy us a new big-ass water jug.
Oh, Lord, I'm about to bust.
Oh, but we did find a sketchy-ass gas station and have a fucking bathroom, so I just went and pissed out behind the fucking building.
Yeah, we actually did that. We both did that at some, not that instance, but yeah, you pissed behind it. No, we both pissed on a few buildings over the course of the
Oh yeah, you pissed in that fucking
parking garage.
parking garage.
Well, no, I pissed on the side of that building when we and we'll get to that. But yeah, so he almost pissed himself in Chicago traffic, which was absurd. Not the fact that he had to piss, but Chicago traffic
we
was absurd.
spent like maybe an extra hour just sitting in fucking traffic.
Yeah, and we have those like Primo water jugs from Walmart, like 3-gallon ones, and we had an empty one, and yeah, we almost just said fuck it, we'll buy a new one and let him piss in it or whatever. But yeah, so that kind of sucks, but we got through it, and that was cool, and we got to the show, and we had a good show, and shout out to the decrepit old man that kept... You remember that guy that the cane that was like, "You guys are badass," like the whole time.
Yeah.
And he kept going back and forth. I feel like he was like, "You're fucking great," and then, "But you're doing this," and then, "Oh well, no." And he kept like going back and forth, like almost like complimenting you, and then like saying something about me that wasn't necessarily a compliment, and then he would come to me and he would compliment me and recant your compliment, and then he would do it again where he would compliment you, recant my compliment, and then it's like, can we just agree that we're all having a good time? Like, who gives a fucking shit? And it was just really weird. But he was also... Everyone's intoxicated. Yeah, but anyway. Dope old man, we appreciate you. I never caught your name or anything, but I hope you got home safely that night. We get to Detroit. I'll say this first. Mike from Phil Yates' group in Chicago, he told me, when you go to Detroit, look out for the roads, because the roads are like a meteor shower, just rained all hell on these roads. And I was like, how bad can it be? There's potholes everywhere.
Dude was right.
if you ain't been to Detroit,
yeah, fucking 19.2 roads with when I say 19.2 roads, brick fucking roads.
Yeah, like cobblestone brick.
Dude,
yeah. It's kind of cool if they were in good shape.
Yeah,
they were not.
They don't like most of the city was like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Honestly, pretty beautiful city though. I really liked Detroit. I thought it was interesting. But we played at Corktown Tavern, and big shout out to
like that venue.
Huh?
So I like that venue.
Yeah, big shout out to Nick on sound. I just remembered his name. Nick on sound. We had a great conversation about how they have theft and murder, or theft and drugs in Detroit, and shootings. But in Lebanon and Eldridge, we have cannibalism and butchering young women. Apparently, I don't know. I don't. Were you in the room when we were talking about that? Yeah, he's like, yeah, we just have people getting stabbed and robberies and people getting mugged, and I was like, well, in Lebanon we have we have chomos and cannibals, and we have meth and cannibalism.
You said Hannibal Lecter.
I don't know. I don't know what I said other than the fact that there was a cannibal in Moon Valley, the Moon Valley Cannibal. But Nick on sound, we played with Modus Operandi, and which I believe his name is Sean.
I don't know.
Yes. I'm just gonna call him Modus Operandi because that's what I called him all night. But he was dope. He was like a one-man like punk looper act, and he was really good. And then we played with the Shindig Machine. So huge shout out to all the dudes from Shindig Machine, and especially Randy.
Oh my god, that guy was so fucking nice. When you asked his bandmate, you were like, "Does he make you so mad for how fucking nice he is?" And then the guitar player was like, "No, actually, not in this day and
not in this world.
Yeah,
not
dude.
in the world we live in now and today."
Yeah. Fuck, bro.
Which was the best answer you could say. But obviously I was just talking shit and all that good stuff. But it was like Randy was. I have to say this, and I'm gonna go on the record here, Randy. If you're watching this, you were the nicest motherfucker I've ever met in my life, and I love you.
I feel like if he got stabbed, he'd be like, "It's okay.
It was an accident. It's okay, buddy."
Yeah, dude.
He's like, but I got he took my money too, and he's like, it's okay. You probably need it more than I do.
Somehow fucking just
dope dude.
Yeah, dude.
Dope dude. Yeah, man. Yeah. So Shindig Machine, Modus Operandi, and Nick on sound. I appreciate all you guys. You guys are fucking dope. And so where did we go from there? I think it was to Akron after that. I think we had a couple days off. No, we had a day off.
No, I think we had Akron and then the days off. And you know what happened after Akron?
Well, wait, so no, we had 3 shows in a row, and then, or no, I think that was that. Yeah, it was Detroit, then the two Akron shows. In Akron, we got double booked, and they actually ended up lining up because the show, they were right across the street from each other, and we ended up, the show, like our sets were like an hour in between, so we were able to actually take both shows, play one, pack up, run across the street, play the other one. And it actually really worked out well. And despite some people didn't come to the second show because they seen us across the street, which I guess there's a conflict of interest there that we were unaware of, but it was out of our hands. So, but in Akron, we, I'll say, we played at the American Legion post number 19. And I believe the sound guy and the guy that booked us, his name was Aaron. So if I got that name wrong, I'm sorry. But he was super nice and accommodating, and Aaron and Kate was the bartender there, and so she was really nice to us too. We played with a band called who's the first band? The only one we actually got to see. I feel like they were... I remember all of them. There was Brutal Bedtime, Phantom Lease, Phantom Sam, us, obviously. B. And I forgot the...
yeah, I don't know.
This is what I'm talking about. This is...
You're talking about the one that broke my drum head?
Yes. Yeah, that drummer broke Space Camp's drum head because we backlined his kit for the first band, and but he graciously paid you back for it. Yeah,
which was very nice.
It wasn't a total douche move.
No, and I can't even be mad at it now, even though I want to, because it's a dope fucking head because it's green.
Yeah, well, and you just put it on.
And I just got it, too.
Dude, I feel bad for not being able to remember that band's name, honestly.
Guitar player was dope.
Yeah, he was freaking sick.
Super high on the high end.
Yeah, lead singer had like Pauly Shore vibes, in my opinion, in a weird way. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
dude.
And so he was kind of like loose and didn't really give a shit about anything, but then the guitar player played an SG and was just like fuzzed out and like, but looked like kind of a nerdy dude, like sweater and glasses and stuff, but he was like flailing and like ripping the guitar, and it was fucking dope. But they were just a fun group. And then the drummer who, you know, broke your head also was wearing a Funkadelic Maggot Brain shirt, which you're all right in my book if you're wearing a Maggot Brain shirt. There was too many names that day for me to remember everybody's name. I remember Juice, the saxophone girl from Brutal Bedtime, I believe. We didn't get to see Brutal Bedtime and Phantom Lease because we had to run across the street and play our other show at the Matinee Bar. Big shout out to Kenny, who was the booker there, and he graciously brought us coffee because they didn't serve any coffee. And
That guy was nice.
Yeah, we played with a band called The Cut, and that was Dan and Charlie, and then Paulie and Brendan, I believe. I remember Paulie, Charlie, Dan. The drummer I only talked to for a second. I believe his name was Brendan. So if I'm wrong, sorry. There's a lot of names, a lot of faces, a lot of shit going on. But The Cut was wonderful. I did enjoy his joke about the fence. I don't know if you remember that joke, but anyways, that's an inside joke, I feel like, between bands. But he had a song about a chain link fence around his heart. But yeah, so, and they were really good. I enjoyed it, and then we played, and then who was it? Cat Turtle. That guy.
Yeah, that guy was like...
Yeah. He was just a one-man acoustic act. He closed the night with, like... He did, like, jam medley covers. Like, it was, like, you know, like Santeria into, like, you know, another song all in one little, like, medley thing. Like, yeah, it was like Nirvana into, like, Santeria or something like that. Like, weird things. But he was pretty good in his own right. And big shout out to TR on sound. I remember TR. Luckily, most of these people had, like, pretty memorable names, to be honest. Like, we met somebody named Juice, and we met somebody, like, I know this isn't crazy, but, like, a girl named Charlie. Like, you don't hear that a lot. I thought it was funny because I heard somebody call her Chuck, which I thought was kind of funny. I don't know why. But, yeah, so the matinee, that went pretty well, and then I think we had 2 days off after that. And
funny thing, I thought that was funny that one of the bands that we've played with at the Battle of the Bands in St. Joseph played the night after we were there.
Oh, the Dirty Pretty.
Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, well, they were on the same booking agency that we run through, so I think they kind of hit up a lot of the same stops, I think. So that, yeah, they played the night after us. I wish we would have been able to stick around.
Yeah.
But then we had a string of really good shows, and everything was just going fucking peachy. And then the universe was all out of fucking bones to throw us. So what does it have to do? It has to throw us a fucking curveball. And what happens is before we left for tour, I had my van inspected. I had to get all new ball joints, oil change, all sorts of new shit. and we had a faulty ball joint bust. Luckily, we were in Terre Haute, Indiana. It was not a hoot. No. We were in Terre Haute. Well, I asked multiple people. I don't know how you pronounce it. So I'm going to say Terre Haute, Indiana. Birthplace of the Coca-Cola Contour bottle, I might add. And, we were just running through there because we were going to go to some antique stores because we had 2 days off after that. And we ended up going, we were going down this road, and luckily we were going like 30, 35 miles an hour, and ball joint fucking just busted, and we hit the ground. The van just kind of clink, and we skidded, dug into the dirt. We had to get a tow truck to take us to a tire barn in good old Terre Haute, where we stayed the night in the van in a shop parking lot where there was no bathroom to use, so I was cracking the sliding door and sticking my genitalia out of it and pissing into their parking lot under the protection of the van, so nobody could see my dinky,
I went and found a tree.
Yeah, he went and used a bush like a responsible human being, but I just couldn't do it. I was just like, dude, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna piss out the door, and before that we went and we had to run across the highway to go walk to gas stations to find a pisser, and
which it was out of order.
Yeah, out of order, and so we used none other than. Oh, I forgot to mention, while we were in Akron, I did use the bathroom in a parking garage. We mentioned that a little bit ago. I pissed in a parking garage in Akron because all of the Akron gas station bathrooms were also out of order. Everything is out of order. I think there's this huge fucking restroom conspiracy going on in gas stations that... Why are they... I don't know. I think it has something to do with Hillary Clinton. I don't know. It's something. Something. The men in black, fucking something. The government.
George Bush did it.
George Bush. He's like, oh, you got to put food on your family. And I don't know what it means. But, potato with no E. But,
no, George, you can't fuck that.
Yeah. Stop it, George. He smack his hand. He's like,
that one
dang.
episode of Brickleberry. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So I pissed in an Akron parking garage, but back to Terre Haute, where we're in the parking lot. Gas station was out of order. I pissed on the side of a apartment building or some shit. I don't remember what it was, or some kind of law office. I don't know. And Space Camp once again pissed behind a gas station. That was, or something. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. It was a gun shop, actually. I'm pretty sure. You pissed on a gun shop, dude. But so we ended up, luckily, we had to get to a show in St. Louis the next day. But we had 2 days off. Luckily, this happened on our 2 days off. So I got the tow to the tire barn, and then from the tire barn, it was like the part I made an appointment at 9 a.m. there, stayed in the parking lot, woke up, got in the shop. They replaced it in like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, and we just fucking got it all taken care of, and then fucking drove to St. Louis and ended up making it there before anybody else, which we thought we were going to be late. We even wasted a bunch of time, like went and slept at a parking or a rest area for a little bit, and like just did a bunch of shit. But which leads us to St. Louis, where we played at the Marshmallow, which was a dope spot. Big shout out to Trammell, the owner, and the owner of the Marshmallow. I believe he was the owner. And Tommy on sound. Tommy was a fucking hoot, dude. I love Tommy. Tommy on sound. We played with Amber Skies, which she was just a acoustic acoustic act, but she had hurt her finger. I hope your finger's doing well. I can't wait for you to be able to play guitar again, because she was a guitar player, and that sucks if you can't fucking play your fucking instrument that you love to play. So I hope your finger's doing good, because she got stitches. That's why she had that guy playing for her. But they were also really good together. And so big shout out to you guys. You guys, you guys killed it. Honestly, probably one of my favorite acts I've seen on the road, just because of just how honest I feel like your music was. Then what was it? A Portrait Life. They just won their Road to Point Fest session, so they're on the road to Point Fest, which is cool. And big shout out to those guys. They were fucking dope. And then we played, and then who was it? Datura, the band, which they were pretty fucking wild. They were like a keyboard. They had a huge keyboard set up with like a Moog synthesizer and like synth pads, and of course like an organ and all the shit. And then the guitar player who had like a suitcase of delays, and then a bass player, which was just fucking holding it down, being the fucking bass player. And then you had the drummer, and the communication between the drummer and the keyboard player was beautiful. It was like I honestly, I feel like the music was good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like I could have just watched them communicate, and that would have been a cool show. I don't know why. They were just
dude,
fun.
I cannot remember the drummer's name though. But there was this one part where fucking cracked me up. I thought he dropped a stick, but no, he comes up with a fucking beer in his hand.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's just fucking doing some fucking funny shit, and he just sets it down. And I went up to him, was like, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, what? I was like, you and that beer, dude. He's like, wouldn't I have to bend down all the way like that? I usually have a table, so it's just right there.
Yeah.
But I was like, but that was funny.
Yeah.
Because it was just like in the middle of the song, like it didn't skip one beat. It was
For
fucking
sure.
hilarious.
Yeah. They all had no, I remember all their names actually. There was the guitar player was Zion, which was I remember that name. Drummer was Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
Then bass player was Bonzo Boncho, something like that.
No,
Bonzo.
it was Bosco.
Bosco
breadsticks.
Bosco, and
He
then
said he was gonna buy out Bosco breadsticks.
So Zion, Luke Skywalker, Bosco, and then Henry. I thought that was hilarious. It's because everyone had like a crazy name. Well, I guess Luke, but he introduced himself as Luke Skywalker to me. So I was like, that was kind of weird. And then it gets to Henry.
I never asked if he was a Star Wars fan.
I mean, honestly, I guess that's on you. You don't really need to.
Well, if you watch this, dude.
He's like, fucking Star Wars sucks, dude. It fucking blows. Angry ukulele. Yeah. But Datura was good, and then we seen their sticker at the next venue. We had to run along and get to Memphis, to the High Tone.
Trash Cat.
Oh, yeah. They had a trash cat that became their mascot.
He's selling merch, and she was a sweetheart, dude.
I didn't touch
sweetest fucking cat.
Yeah, I can't touch cats or else.
The guy had like that merch of this cat, and like the pictures they used, it looked mad as fuck. I was like, damn, dude. And the cat just lives in the venue, like lives inside the venue, like it's dope as shit.
Yeah, dude. It was honestly dope marketing. But yeah, we played at the High Tone in Memphis, and big shout out to Alex, who ran the door. I only met you once and talked to you maybe twice in very few words, but you seemed cool. Thanks for the wristband. We played with a band called... I do too. I fucking hate fucking wristbands, but...
Almost as much as fog machines.
Fog machines and wristbands suck. But
we should get T-shirts to say that.
Yeah, fuck your fog machine and fuck your wristbands.
Fuck your fog machine.
Yeah, dude. But We played with a band called 3 versus the Turnpike, and they were fucking dope.
Got a free shirt.
Oh, they gave you a free shirt? Yeah. They were going to give me a sticker. They never gave me a sticker. But that's on me. I forgot.
Actually, I had 2.
2 what?
2 stickers.
Oh, that must have been one of those is my fucking sticker, dude.
I was trying to think of. I was like, why did I get 2 stickers? But yeah, I have 2.
Well, I demand one of them. Anyways, they were really fucking dope. They were just a 3-piece, which was kind of one of the most interesting 3-pieces I've seen in a long time. Because
that was a weird
yeah,
setup.
it was a drummer and a keyboard player and then a bass player, but he used sub-octaves up to kind of fill out the treble end, but it was fucking dope. I really enjoyed it. It was very... I don't want to compare anybody, but I mentioned to him it was very Claypool, Lennon, Delirium type of like swampy, dark, moody primacy thing, and it was really fucking dope, and I really enjoyed them, and I really want to play with them again at some point in the future. Honestly, all these bands I would love to play with again, you know, but So where'd we go after Memphis? We went to Memphis, and then we went Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Fuck, what was that venue?
It was Heroes.
Oh yeah.
We played Heroes. We'd played Heroes before, but Dominique, one of our booking ladies, she asked if we want to play there again, so we ended our tour there, and it was a fucking blast, man. Huge shout out to, I haven't showed you these, but Adam was the photographer that was there, and he hit me up before the show, and he asked if he could take pictures, so I have like 10 really solid pictures from Adam. So big shout out to Adam that was on the camera.
She definitely send those to me.
I haven't even downloaded them yet, but I'll yeah. But so yeah, thanks Adam for the photos. We'll definitely give you credit if we post them or not. And I'm sure we will post them or use them in some capacity. But we played with a band called Silent Wolf. They were like industrial rock. It was like a 2-piece.
Dude, yes, and I followed them on Spotify. I check some of the. There's one song in particular that I want to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. The only thing is I felt bad, and I even told them this, but we were both watching from the same place because of their flashing strobe lights and shit. I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying the music, but like if I go in the front, I'm gonna be like
yeah, dude.
But
it was making my eyes water.
Yeah. Well, even back there were still like strobes, but it was a little less intense back there. So we were like watching from behind them. But their energy was great, dude. Honestly, the lead singer, he was like on point with like every beat, like every step he did. It was kind of really wild to watch. Yeah, my jam went out. Oh, the jam is empty. I think we're nearing the end.
Dude, that was like weird.
Yeah. But well, we're nearing the end. This is the end of tour. So Fort Smith, Arkansas, we played with Silent Wolf and Daisy Heart Attack, which was a long time coming. We were supposed to play with Daisy Heart Attack a few times, but, ends never met there. So this was kind of a long time coming, and I'm a real big... I would consider myself a fan of Daisy Heart Attack. I enjoyed their music, and we should play again soon. They were all really nice fucking dudes. Totally. 2 of them looked like cops, but
yeah, what was that? What was that first guy's name?
Josh Carter. Yeah. Josh Carter, former guitar player, fan.
Oh, it's fucking funny.
But big shout out to Sammy on sound there. We've worked with him before. He's always a good time. And huge shout out to the 2 dudes that one wild dude with the cowboy hat.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Space Camp had to give him a sticker because he was having too good of a time. So that was
like
that was fucking funny.
Like he was just like over in the corner dancing to like music that was just playing from the.
Yeah. We weren't necessarily providing his good time. He was just having a good time.
Dude, like he would just veer off dancing. It was just fucking hilarious. It's like, he was like, "Oh, you got any like merch and stuff?" And after I was done packing up, I just brought him a sticker. I was, you know what, here's a sticker, dude. Like, yeah.
He was very nice to us, and the other two dudes that were at the table, those guys were really nice too. I didn't get their names actually.
I didn't either.
So,
I'm sorry,
but you know who you are. One of them said that something about jazz, which was dope, and I was giving shit about. And one of them had my black shaft, which he smoked a cigarette through. You left, and I was like, you walked out the back, and I was like, right as I was like, dude, smoke a cigarette through it. And he took that shaft that I had at the beginning, and he stuck his cigarette on the end of it, and I was like, dude, yes. And I was like, that's so fucking funny to me.
That's just drunk.
Yeah.
Dude, every time you get trashed, that's all.
Dude,
that's when people know you're fucked up.
Phantom Sam and the Black Shafts. That's what we do. Smoking cigarettes through black shafts. But the jam is out. It's been a time, and now we're here at the end of the line, and we go on tour again in June and October. So we have some time to reflect and recoup, and I hope everybody out there, enjoyed the show, and will keep up with us and follow us on all of our socials and whatnot. And if you want some merch, go to our website. That'd be dope. We have merch on our website now. I mean, we have, but I've always failed to mention it. So.
Merch.
Yeah, and we got some new stuff coming as far as Spotify and Apple Music and whatnot, so stick around for that. What are we going to do? We're going to live with cause and leave the results to the great law of the universe, and we are going to live and pass each day in peaceful contemplation. We're going to be patient, and we're going to be present in our fucking lives. That's what we're going to do. You're going to put the fucking phone down after this episode, of course. And
stay funky, y'all.
And just fucking be present and enjoy each other. Enjoy your family, your friends, your loved ones, and whatnot. And as Space Kim said, stay funky. More importantly, dudes, we're gonna stay groovy out there. And so, without further ado,
we bring to you.
And without further ado.
We brought to you.
We brought to you. The jam already happened. Yeah. So without further ado.
We brought to you.
Art of the Jam. Art of the Jam. Art of the Jam. Balls in my mouth.